Scrappy peeps, Suzanna here today to share with you my layout and video for a collaboration that I am doing with Christine. This is the layout that I am going to show you my process of creating. I had this cut file that I created in Design Studios. I just took a bunch of paper clips and overlapped them in such a way that they were all touching, and I was going to get one cut from that. And I knew I wanted to use a white background in order to get them to show up. And I have Amy Tan's new collection, Hustle and Heart, and that's what I wanted to really work with for this particular layout. I chose the sort of school-ish themed bits of paper and embellishments, and I had also cut out, you can see that back too, and you'll see that I pull off of my Matt Later School as the title. So I wanted those pens, I believe that's what they are, pens and pencils and paintbrushes, and the hand crank pencil sharpeners. And I decided I wanted a little bit of an angle on that, and I was going to use that as the header for the top of my layout. So I took my digital cut file and just turned it upside down on a piece of scrap paper and used my Prima glue pen to just apply some adhesive to this. I had thought of using my Martha Stewart liquid glue pen, but the problem with that is it always dries before I get it on the layout. So the nice thing about this glue stick glue pen really is that it doesn't dry, and I have time to get it to my layout by the time I get all those fine detail pieces. So I just flipped it upside down and sort of gently pushed in order to get it on the layout. I have 3 pictures of my daughter on her first day of school. We have not had our first day of school yet here in Virginia, so these are first day of 5th grade last year. And I'm just pulling out some pieces that I think I'm going to use as layers for the back of the photo cluster that I'm going to put near the top up there. So I have this yellow lined paper, notebook paper, which is perfect for a back to school layout. And I also had that sort of blue gritty background. This is the red that I had cut out for the title as the other letters. It was a back to school file, but I didn't like the font that was back to, so I kept font and made my own cursive back to font. I thought it would really look really cool to have the title overlapping, but it was hard to read because of the cursive font that I had chosen, so it was okay that it worked out the way that it did. I have a piece of wax paper there because I was going to pull my letters through the Xyron sticker maker and use the wax paper, but I forgot that I can just see them through the Xyron sticker paper, and it's like a wax background anyway, just to figure out the placement of my letters. So I pull that through, and that's where I do end up leaving the title. One of the things that I do off camera, it was an afterthought, is below back to school, I add the pink ruler. My daughter's dress is red and white striped, and it gives it a pink illusion in those smaller pictures, and that ruler underneath back to school really filled up that empty space, and it was a compliment to the layout. So you'll see that in the close-ups. So now I'm just working on the layers behind these 2 pictures. I end up leaving out the 3rd one because there just isn't enough room. So I stick these 2 on a glassine bag from Spiegelmom Scraps, and then stick that glassine bag on that yellow notebook paper, again from Amy Tan, and just cut that out around the edges of the glassine bag. Looks good. I like it. I thought I might move the title underneath the layout, but then it sort of leaves a lot of empty space and a lot of weight at the top of the layout there. And by moving the title back down to the bottom where I originally had it, it was a more proportionally weighted layout. I just ripped the top off here. I have taken to ripping paper lately. Those of you who know me before I started doing process videos, you would have had to have paid me a lot of money to rip paper. But I've been doing a fair amount of that lately, and I just like the not unfinished, but the sort of rough edge look that leaves where there's an awful lot of straight lines. I had these frames from Recollections trying to use some of my stash. I had actually pulled a lot of other elements for this layout just to complement the stuff that I had from Amy Tan, because I really don't have a lot of that collection. But funnily enough, I end up just sticking with the Amy Tan stuff and one sticker from that sticker pack from Pebbles right there. So I abandoned the frames, and I'm pulling out all of the other color coordinated bits that I had chosen. And I really liked this red paper that I had cut out School from. And it's got a hint of yellow in it, which sort of makes it orange. It's a reddy orange. And I cut a square of that out to sort of frame the picture. But I want, once it's framed, it's too much red, and so I do trim off the bottom so that you just see that poker red poking up out of the top, which ties together the picture cluster and the red of the Back to School in the title. So you can see how that red was too much. I slid it down, but then that became too heavy up the top, so I just glued it and then trimmed it down. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen my Fiskars trimmer that I've used in video upon video. I'm not a huge fan of it. It doesn't cut straight. I have to be very careful that I don't let things shift, but it works for me, and I've learned to make it work. So here are the embellishments from Amy Tan. And I picked out a few. You can see the ruler, that little art palette that says "Oh Joy," and the apple. And I do like the apple. I couldn't. It probably would have been okay behind the B of Back to School, but again, there was too much weight, and I actually do end up going with that ruler that I mentioned earlier, which looks much better. I have this little clipboard sticker from Pebbles, and I like that. It matches the Back to School theme, and what you don't see in the pictures that I've done actually is I used a permanent marker, and I wrote in the grade and her teacher and then the date as well. Not a lot of journaling here because a Back to School picture is a Back to School picture at this grade. So my Martha Stewart glue pen, and I just outline this to stick that down. Easy. And then 2. And while I'm at it, I need to put a few more of those paper clips, a little bit more adhesive to the back of some of those paper clips. So there is the title, Back To, and I will pull off the letter stickers. I did save the backing or the negative, and that allowed me to place the stickers in perfectly so that I had the alignment that I wanted without having to fuss with it. So just a small tip to you, if you save your negatives of your cut files, it does help you place them into your projects. Simple trick, really. And then pull it off. Voila! Bob's your uncle. Pretty cool, huh? This is the bulk of the layout. I just have these puffy hearts from the same collection from Heart and Hustle, or Hustle and Heart. I always put them in the wrong spot. Hustle and Heart. I loved these so much that I bought 2 sets of them, and I know I will use them, so I'm not worried about that. And I do need to stick these elements down that I hadn't realized I hadn't stuck down. And then I'm going to put 2 more of those hearts. I do play with the other embellishments that I pulled out of my stash because I really wanted to try and get something else on there, but there really was enough, and why overdo it? So this is where I pull out various other school themed things or color coordinated things that I really wanted to use. I'm not sure why I flipped through the paper pack. I think there were some cut-aparts that I thought maybe might come in handy. Ah, the rainbow stripped piece. So there's a lot of color in the pens and papers up top, and there was not a lot at the bottom of that photo. So I wanted something to give some weight to the bottom of that cluster, and that striped piece there was perfect. You can see how that kind of just closes the deal right there. So cleaning this up because I'm being distracted by it all and still wanting to find something else. I really wanted to put a label on here for some reason. I think it's the school layout and I associate labels with school. So you can see I pick out a few of the labels and nope, not going to go with that. Try these stickers. These are back to school themed. Nope, not going to do that. I think I'm going to call that good at this point. So this collaboration is being sponsored by Christine Meyer, and also today Sara Scraps is showing her videos, and you will see those pop up in a second, links to those. Christine has a great giveaway, so be sure to follow her blog, her YouTube channel, and stop by and see what she has to offer. So, and see you next time, and until then, take care.